Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Dole, aka the Big D of Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, with another TV log. This is going to be the last TV log I'm going to do this year. Now, I will do some TV specials though next month, and some this later on this Thanksgiving week, but that's a different story. But this is an actual TV log. Today, I'm going to bring to you a kids show that's been on longer than any other and still going. Sesame Street. Yep, it was 50 years ago today when PBS gave us this great show, which was originally produced by the company known as the Children's Television Workshop, now known as the Sesame Workshop. Now, it originally starting out as 1 hour, it featured all sorts of various characters that were done by Jim Henson and his Muppets, and of course, Kermit the Frog being among one of those, along with several others that we would get to see, plus some human characters with each week, every day, of course, each week. Maybe not every day. Weekdays is what I really mean. Would bring us all sorts of fun skits, music, and I don't know what have you into our homes, and this became a big success with parents and preschoolers. And well, I grew up with the show. I've seen some of the episodes that were out before I was even born in the 80s. Yeah, can you believe that? I can't. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all. Anyway, now there'd also be a little bit of animation, involving numbers and letters, which of course that was Sesame Street's main goal, not just to, entertain, but also teach kids about letters and numbers. And all other subjects that could help kids learn what to do growing up and what have you. Anyway, now amongst some of the humans we see around Sesame Street, now originally we saw a few of them, including Gordon and his wife Susan, plus Bob, and Mr. Hooper, who ran a candy store. Anyway, now I'm really not going to talk much about it. I'm only going to try and focus on some of mostly the early years. I might do a little bit of the 80s years, so, not the later and current years, so don't expect to hear too much about all those other characters you know of. Thank you very much. Let's see, and soon we would get more characters later on through the series running, including Maria and Louise, and let's see, and Olivia, Linda, who of course was a deaf woman, spoken sign language. Let's see, David. Let's see, and then of course in the coming years we'd see other people. Now, yeah, it was 1982 or 1983 when Will Lee passed away. That's the man who played Mr. Hooper, and then soon some other people took over his candy store, including Gina and Mr. Hanford. And plus, there'd be lots more characters to come, including Maria and Louise's kid, Gabrielle, or Gabby for short. And let's see, Miles, who was, little boy who was adopted by Gordon and Susan. Yeah, I didn't really notice that until I actually watched the actual episode. Yeah, I was very surprised, but now I know the facts and what have you. But there would be lots of other human characters, not too many to mention though, but I know several of them. Now, of course, for the Muppets, on the other hand, let me tell you, we got so many of them. Most of them were performed by Mr. Henson before his death in the early 90s, as well as Frank Oz, who also helped on lots of the Muppets, and Jerry Nelson, and many others, and of course Carol Spinney, who just more recently retired from the show. Anyway, now among some of the monsters and other Muppets you see around Sesame Street include, let's see, there's Bert and Ernie. Everybody's got know who those two are. Ernie's kind of the funny one, though. I'm not quite as good as doing Ernie's life, but Bert, I can. But anyway, let's see, but well, everybody's gotta love Bert and Ernie, and let's see, and of course we have Big Bird, who of course was one of the characters done by the now retired Mr. Spinney, who was absolutely great. He was among one of my few favorite characters, and Spinney also voiced Oscar the Grouch, who apparently originally was orange at first in the early years, and then before he was changed to his actual green color. You are without a doubt the most bird I have ever met. Yeah, I kind of actually do kind of a good impression of Oscar. But that's close. That's kind of just me imitating sort of close to what he said to him in Christmas Eve on Sesame Street from 1978, which was the very first Sesame Street special. But I'll talk about that later. Let's see. There was lots of other Grouches. We rarely get to see any other Grouches aside from Oscar. And of course, his pet worm, Slimy. Let's see. Also, we have... well, he was considered an imaginary friend to Big Bird, but until he was finally seen, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Loved old Snuffy. Yep. Let's see. And then let's see. Well, let's see. Now, there was also human kids, and there was kid-type characters. Well, aside from Bert and Ernie, we also had, let's see, we had Herbert Birdsfoot, let's see, Mary Lou. Betty Lou, my mistake. Let's see, Prairie Dawn. We had Biff and Sully, two construction workers. Those two were absolutely funny. And let's see, Guy Smiley, who was this fun-filled, energetic game show host. Sonny Friendly, who was absolute crazier game show host than Guy was. Let's see, there was a little baby monster named Natasha. There was, of course, we got all those other monsters. We got the honkers, these little horns on the head, like a little the end of a trumpet or trombone. They honk like first in their noses. There's even one called the Dinger with a bell on his head. Very funny characters. We got a lot of other monsters were favorites to everyone before we got, all those other monsters in the later years like Zoe and Rosita, Abby Cadabby, and of course, probably a favorite or not so favorite of everyone's, Elmo. Oh yeah, before I get back to the monsters, I almost forgot this another good character. That would be the Count Von Count. Ha 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 ha. Yes. He always likes counting, the Count does. I absolutely loved that character. But now back to the monsters. There was a hairy monster. I really did like that character. Let's see, Telly, who was introduced in, I believe, the 80s. Yeah, who actually was hooked on television, but then, of course, he wasn't. And he tries to get along with Oscar and some of the other inhabitants, because with Oscar, he do ask Oscar. Let's see. But aside from those, the other two monsters were two other monsters which were probably favorites of everyone's, including myself, were Grover, who was this skinny blue monster, big pink nose, who was absolutely fun and everything, and also as Super Grover, very funny. And let's see. And, of course, the real favorite of everyone's, Cookie Monster! Cookie Cowabunga! Yeah, he eats of cookies, possibly anything else sometimes, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you heard me correctly when saying cowabunga, because here I thought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were the first characters. They introduced me to cowabunga, but I didn't know it was Cookie Monster who actually said that. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm getting carried away here. Forgive me. But anyway, Sesame Street is still going on strong on PBS, even though it's now trimmed to 30 minutes. But however, it currently gets new episodes on every Saturday morning on HBO. Every Saturday morning. Sorry for sounding like a broken record. It's also showing on HBO Family as well. Now you can catch episodes anytime you want. You can also go to the sesamestreet.org, I do believe, site where you can see clips old and new. You'll get to see all sorts of fun stuff. I mean, it also had some real cool, memorable numbers and stuff that were seen. I think among some of the early ones included maybe some of the old, well, segments with letters and what have you. I can't think of too many of them. There's too many. But the others would have to be the numbers, where we have the, let's see, one of them would be the pinball number count, which had tuned down by the Pointer Sisters. Yep, I didn't know it was them. Let's see, and the well, this was considered the baker because we saw him at the end of this. These kids sing a song of whatever number from 1 to 10. Well, there is a one number segment of the baker on here. Look it up. That's very rare though. But and then the baker appears at the end and he loses balance. Yeah, gets caught in all the stuff he's carrying out. And then of course there's the Jazzy Spies, which we do see at the end of this anime segment. It really starts out with a really cool jazz number where we get to hear Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane fame. While doing that, doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, look that up if you've never seen, or if you have not seen it in years, I highly recommend you check it out. But anyway, now, in about the late 90s, going to the early double zeros, the classic episodes of Sesame Street were actually shown on Noggin, where I got to manage to stay up late since I was no longer in school because I wanted to see those just for fun. Thought they sounded like fun, that's what I did. Because I was too young to remember Mr. Hooper because I was only 3. But anyway, and then soon I got to see what he looked like when I got to see Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. Now to the specials. Now that was one of the very first specials they did. Now they go on to have other specials, like including, let's see, I think it was called a Special Sesame Street Special, but that unfortunately aired on CBS, and I didn't think it was good, even though it had some good celebrity appearances. And of course, Elmo Saves Christmas, which I did give a second chance. It's an okay special. I mean, it had Charles Durning get Santa Claus. Of course, that's the guy who played Doc Hopper in the Muppet movie. If you've not seen my review of it, check it out. Excuse me. And there was also the Sesame Street special, where we get to see lots of special appearances. We get to see all sorts of recent Sesame Street clips, like Grover being the waiter to this blue guy with the brown hair and the big mustache, who is referred to as Fat Blue, but he always messes everything up for him. And let's see, and then of course there was Hoots the Owl, who was a recurring character from the late 80s, early 90s, or mid 90s run of the series, doing the ever popular Put Down the Ducky, where Ernie's trying to play a saxophone, but he's still attached to his own little friend Rubber Ducky. Yeah, that was that's another thing. There's some good songs in there. Rubber Ducky's among one of them. You gotta love that song. Let's see, and Kermit saying it's not easy being green. Oh, believe me, the list goes on. there was all sorts of funny segments from Beat the Time with guys smiling at a knockoff of the popular game show Beat the Clock, and Monster Piece Theater, which had Cookie Monster as Alistair Cookie, a knockoff of Masterpiece Theater's original host, Alistair Cook. And of course, y'all know Masterpiece is just going under the title Masterpiece. They dropped Theater a few years ago. Anyway, oh yeah, and there's some more characters. I can remember a few others. We had a Baby Bear, that was a 90s character, probably going to today. Sherlock Hemlock, the world's greatest detective, like that character. Barkley, this big dog, absolutely a funny character. But anyway, here's some more Sesame Street specials. Big Bird became a pretty big character, and he appeared in episodes where he was in China and in Japan, which both of those were pretty good specials. I did relive Big Bird in China last year, I believe it was. I don't think I've managed to relive Big Bird in Japan though, but I'd like to. They did a Big Bird's birthday special. Let's see. I don't know what else, but the list goes on. And if you got kids out there and they have never seen Sesame Street, you don't know what you're missing. I mean, it may be 30 minutes now, but if you want them to show them some of the classic moments, I'd highly recommend you get them to watch some of the old segments too. Trust me. But anyway, glad to know Sesame Street's still going strong. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It also did get to spin out some movies as well. Now, Big Bird Big Bird was one of the first few, as he made a cameo in the Muppet movie in 1979 as well. And of course, a few of the Sesame Street characters made a cameo with the rest of the Muppets at the end of the movie. Some of the Muppets appeared in the Wayne scene in the last bit of the Muppets Take Manhattan. Also did a review of that. Check it out. And then, which was in 1984, and the following year in 1985, they got to be in their first feature-length motion picture, Sesame Street Presents Follow That Bird, which I'll be reviewing that later on tonight. Or today. That just depends when I'm going to do it, okay? And then, of course, in 1999, they did The Adventures of Elmo and Grouchland, which was alright and all, but I didn't quite enjoy that as much as Follow That Bird. No offense to you Elmo fans, okay? But anyway, that's about it. That's about all I can say about Sesame Street. The CTW, which is the Sesame Workshop to us now, if it hadn't been for this show, they would have given us some other great shows after that, including The Electric Company, 321 Contact, Square One TV, and Ghostwriter, which, of course, I just did a TV log of last month, as well as co-produced other shows when they were the Sesame Workshops, such as Dragon Tales and Sagwa the Chinese Siamese Cat. But anyway, that's going to do it for my TV log of Sesame Street. Tell me what your favorite Sesame Street moments were, or tell me who was your favorite Sesame Street character in the comments section. I'd love to hear about it. That is, if you can handle give me what you know and like about Sesame Street. But you understand what I'm saying, I hope. But anyway, thank you again for watching. And please feel free to check out my channel and subscribe and be a part of the Big D Nation. Because believe me, I'm getting close to 150 subs. And I'd love to try and get 5 more. If I can, maybe before my Thanksgiving break, I can do my next Q&A. But if not, I can possibly make it by next month. Then I can do it by that. Or if not, I can do it before the year's over with. We'll see what happens. So like and subscribe and comment on this vid if you like Sesame Street, if you have a favorite moment, and all that jazz, blah, blah, blah. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.